All right, my mic is hot. Your mics are hot.
Hot.
You're hot. I think we're good. We're live. We're stable. Hopefully, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, the world over, my fellow brothers and sisters who love this damn game. Welcome back to Good Morning Azeroth. It has been a couple weeks. A lot has happened amongst all of us.
Yes.
A lot has happened. The date today it's a new month. What month is it? What is this? Is it August yet?
June.
June 2nd, 2019. What a time. What a time to be alive. Before we get started, as per tradition, the priest in the group Defcamp is going to have to hit us with a loud and a thunderous. Go for it, Defcamp.
For all the ones we've been waiting for, boys. Here we go. Good morning, Azeroth. How the hell you guys doing today? Let's get fucking hyped.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. That was good. That was a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm doing great. It's glad to be back in the saddle again after the whole I got married, guys. You guys probably know that. Honeymoon, all this. I'm glad to be back.
Oh yeah, can we give everyone a congratulations to Kargoz, please, for getting married?
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm joining.
Mazel tov.
Are you married?
In chat as well.
Okay, in chat. Are you married, Dunedain?
No.
Okay.
You're the
He's
only
still a
one
free
out of
man.
all of us.
Still a free
You're the only
man.
married man.
Gotcha. Drell,
one of the
42, subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, man. Miko, welcome to the stream,
Hot
Drell.
damn.
Thank you. Early. Keeping a roof over my head, Drell. So how are you guys? How are things with you guys? It's actually been a minute. Like, we actually haven't talked that much as a group. So, like, it's not like we were talking behind the scenes. We're
dude.
legitimately trying to, catch up a little bit here.
Been going hard, bro. Been going hard on the beta. Been streaming a lot. Been working a lot. Just I come home from work, stream for like 8 hours, and then go to bed. Repeat, every
I
day.
hear that.
Pete and repeat.
Yeah, I don't have beta access, so I only play the stress tests. That was okay, I guess, but it's different. If you only can play the stress test, it's like one day.
Did you play both stress tests, Dunedain? Or just one?
I played the first one and I logged in on the second one, but on the second one I had very much work to do, so I just had it as like a background. And I killed a few boars and stuff, but I didn't really go hard on the
Live to win, brother.
I got you.
Yeah.
I smell what you're cooking.
I'm actually sweating like hell. It's
You said it's 90 degrees in Belgium right now?
yeah, like 91, I guess.
And you guys don't have air conditioning, right?
No.
No one has air conditioning over there because it's like never that hot, right?
Exactly.
Really?
That's crazy, dude. I would die. I would literally die.
You would live.
Yeah, there's no
I'd
AC.
melt. I would melt, dude.
Crazy.
Well, I was as crazy to go play some golf today, but yeah.
You do a full 18? No, right? Did 9?
Yeah, full 18. It was a how do you call it? It was a tournament, like competition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ooh.
You're actually like a functional
Very nice.
person IRL. That's cool. Nice. Actually, Melderon is too.
He's a functional person.
Melderon
man.
actually, he's sold out, boys. He's being an adult. No, I'm joking. Melderon has a great new job, great new gig. Dude, I'm really happy for you, man.
Oh yeah.
And he's actually been
Thanks,
finding
guys.
time to work on the site and play this damn game very selflessly, doing
And
testing
make
and stuff.
videos.
And make
And make
videos.
videos.
Very good
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Can you give us some life advice, Melderon? How do you find the balance, dude? How do you... What's...
He plays on a
Well-
PvE server. That's how he does it. He plays on a PvE
Yeah,
Okay.
server.
honestly, that's part of
Say no more.
it because
I'm done. Kick
and
him,
I get made fun of constantly for it, but the PvE server allows me to do everything, dude, and I don't have to worry about literally. And people are so friendly. Like if I go in my guild chat, like we have a 400-person guild on the PvE server, and if I go on there and be like, hey, does anyone have like a plus fire damage piece of gear so I can do something? It gets sent to me like immediately. Like people are so friendly on the PvE server, it's ridiculous. And I need spell scaling information, so I literally just put like PM'd all the shamans, and they're like, yeah, we'll get it to you. Like we'll get it to you as soon as we train, and we'll give you all the information you need. So it's just it's work. It's not about working hard; it's about working smart, right? That's how life.
Yeah.
That's how life works.
so true.
Yeah, it's about balance, dude. Right? About balance.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'll shake guide
Absolutely.
you. Yep.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job, man. Leading by example, still getting that paycheck, still playing classic, dude, living the dream.
It's
Yep,
easy to
come home.
balance if
Yeah,
you only
come-
have PvE,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's true. Come home from work and then I just log on and go to sleep. So
guys, man, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I still have my grievances with how Blizzard rolled this beta out, but it is what it is. We're here, we're playing the beta right now. 3 out of 4 of us are playing the beta. Melderon, Defcamp, myself. Dunedain's been doing the stress tests. If I'm just trying to ignore the way they rolled it out and the fact that it feels like a giant Blizzard's boys club, I'm having so much fun. Like, I'm having an unprecedented amount of fun. Like, my fun levels are off the Richter scale. It is very, very great time.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, to be alive. So, I mean, maybe we can tell the people what we've been up to in the beta, how the beta feels, first impressions, fun levels, hype levels. Go.
Well,
you go first, Defcamp. I gotta.
Okay, so my main thing is like, when I first logged into the beta, dude, I was just like dumbstruck by just how awesome everything felt. I mean, like, I'm the kind of guy, right? I'll go see a movie, and everyone else thinks it sucks. Like, I'll enjoy it just because I'm pretty basic.
I can see that. I can see that.
But
in a good way, though. In a good way,
because
because
I'm a simple.
no, I'm kind of the same way though, Defcamp. Because some of my friends would be really critical of the movies, and I'd be like, guys, wasn't that bad? I don't know if you're like that too,
but you know. Yeah, so like overall though, like as I started playing and I noticed like, okay, like, you know, I started testing on the first, because you know we got on the first day, and I started noticing bugs, right? And like I probably had like 20 or so bugs reported, like, you know, pretty good bugs in the first couple days. But then as I started playing and you started to realize just like how much of an undertaking this whole thing was, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many little intricacies and everything for classic WoW. And, you know, as there were a lot of bugs, I kind of was impressed at how good everything did feel for the most part. You know, there were some minor things that I noticed, you know, like spell animations, you know, like we noticed Smite and Res, they were like a lot brighter. And you know, you look up in Tearsful and it doesn't have the same, you know, greenish hue. And that was, you know, they said that they weren't able to get 100% on a lot of those things, so it did feel different to a small extent, but it feels like classic WoW to a large extent, right? That was my first impression. I will say one thing: I did feel a little bit stronger in the earlier levels, and this could be because, like I said, I've played this class for a long time. I know, you know, what to expect in the first few levels and things like that. And I did, you know, like Melderon said, in a lot of the dungeons, I did feel like a lot of the dungeons were way too easy. Especially, you know, we did WC with a level 17 tank and pretty low geared people, pretty low level people, and never wiped, never CC'd, never had anyone die. You know, and things just felt a little too easy in my experience for the dungeons, right? But as time is going on, as I'm leveling more, I feel like the dungeons are scaling pretty well. Like, you know, we went into No Maragon, it was a little bit harder, and I feel like maybe as we go a little bit forward, if the beta does get into more levels, maybe things will get a little bit more difficult. But overall, like, I am just really impressed with everything. I feel like classic. It feels like classic. I feel like the camaraderie, like the community's there. Like, people are buffing each other, but we're having, like, you know, city raids, like South Shore versus Town Mill. We're destroying in Warsong Gulch as the Horde right now. Like, the Alliance are like literally boycotting Warsong because we're just destroying them so bad. But it feels good, man. I won't lie. I'm really hyped. Every day I come home, I can't wait to play. It feels like classic WoW in a lot of ways to me.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that overall, I think things are really, really good. I also think that, as you guys, if anyone hasn't seen my beta reactions video, I'm a little underwhelmed by the dungeon meta, or not dungeon meta, dungeon difficulty, and that's fine. You know, if that's vanilla like, so be it, and I don't want them to change it. But I do have my fears about what the community at large will think of it, especially people coming from BFA. But as of right now, the way things are,
you think it's real easy though, right? You've been telling me that you think it's like, super easy. Like, you didn't even. What did you say? You didn't drink at all for like 3 dungeons. I
haven't drank.
I'm kind of in.
I haven't drank
boat,
yet.
Man. We haven't wiped it all. Every dungeon has taken less than an hour. I've been tanking.
You know what else we haven't
dungeons,
done? CC.
Tanking dungeons with my Voidwalker. Okay, that's been happening.
Dude, I've been soloing SMGY. Like I like you know, as well. Not. I mean,
as a priest.
I can
with
kill
mind control.
as a well, I can mind control, but it's kind of ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
look
Not
at
only
Kargoz.
is there's no drinking required, Kargoz, we're not CCing anything.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's
Like
Defcamp.
that's
You were spying on me. Oh, what's up, man? Sorry. Yeah. And you've been tanking or healing, Melderon? You've been tanking, right?
healing. Healing. I'm gonna try to tank RFK later today if I have time.
I'll heal. Oh, well, never mind. You're in a PvE server.
Yeah.
God, look.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to tank that.
You know, here's
today
a pro strat for someone. If you're trying to like guard a quest, like something that you would loot, like let's say it's a cactus apple in the Valley of Trials, or you know, some kind of thing that you're gonna loot from a node or something for your battle buddy, for your duo leveling partner, you just walk over to it and you either just stand there or you slash kneel, and people think you're using it. If there's other people around,
Oh yeah.
you just jabate
Yeah,
them.
that's true. That's what I'm.
And now the
That's what you're
secret's
doing
out.
right now.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So one thing I did notice, and a lot of you guys probably seen the clip where it's got like a lot of views, where I did notice phasing in a lot of different ways. You know, like I was sitting there in was a Northwatch hold, and I was killing some mobs. All of a sudden, the mob I was attacking disappeared around me, respawned, and I said "what the f" about 5 times in a row. And so I noticed that like phasing there. We were actually in a raid group and got phased out from the rest of our people in our raid group, which kind of was concerning to me. I'm sure that was a bug, but that happened while we had a raid group in Gromgal. Half the raid group was already there. A few of us got there later, and we couldn't see the rest of the people in our raid group, which was kind of concerning. So I did notice some layering and some phasing things, and I'm sure they're testing it out. I mean, again, a big thing to remember is that this is a beta.
This was on the stress test, though, not the beta, right? Or
no, this was on the beta.
Oh.
This was on the beta. This was while I was leveling on the beta. I noticed layering multiple times, and I'm sure it's maybe they're just testing it or whatever. You know, you don't really know. But the stress test was a lot of fun. I gotta say, like doing the stress test with everyone else, logging on, having Omar came and logged into Valley of Trials and spawned a Magmadar and killed all of us. It was pretty funny. So yeah, stuff like that was really cool. Like seeing GMs log on and play with us and stuff like that. Like the feel of it, like the social aspect of it feels alive. It really does, and I hope that really does transfer over to Classic, because right now it's a small knit community here in the beta, but I really hope that transfers over to Classic, because to me that's one of the most important things.
yeah.
So in the only time I actually really played was in the first stress test, and we had those PvP moments where Horde came to us in Elwyn Forest, and I think we had like battle for an hour, so that was really fun, and we grouped up multiple people. I had a lot of fun in that first stress test actually, but since I don't play on the beta, I do have a few questions.
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Many might have been answered, but I think it would be good for us to just go over them all. So first of all, I heard like some people say leveling is slower, and some people say leveling is faster. So
I think it's exactly the
I think
same.
I have a good opinion on this.
I-
I'll chime in whenever. There's a good opportunity.
Yeah,
to this.
but
Go
no,
ahead,
you-
Kargoz,
you
'cause I wanna-
actually know
yeah,
more than anyone.
yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the speed leveling
Yeah.
stuff.
So we
Yeah,
ended
I
up.
wanna hear Kargoz
Okay.
in
So our original 1 to 30, guys. I have so much I want to talk about. Holy shit. Okay.
Go.
All right. So our 1 to 30, my first 1 to 30 with Navik was kind of scuffed, mainly on my part, not for Navik. Navik got Horde first 30 using the leveling guide we've been working on for a long time now.
On a war.
On a-
As a warrior.
By the way.
Solo warrior, which is crazy, defying all the odds. But we still beat his time together on our first 1 to 30. We shaved off a couple hours from his original
As duo.
as a duo. So, and we were fucking around, like we were PvPing, we were killing streamers in Hillsbrad. Like I scuffed. I mean,
And he did have some
In all
bad
fairness,
things happen to him on
Navik
the
got screwed over
yeah.
in that Wailing Caverns run. He was in there for like 4 hours.
yeah, and he still said it
5
was
hours
worth it
was
getting
it.
that, getting that. Yeah, I don't know how they were
Yeah.
wiping though, bro. That Wailing Caverns was a cakewalk for us.
I have no idea either, but whatever. Yeah,
But
that's fine.
anyway, so where do I start? Like when I first started, there was a donation. Who did it? One Swift guy with the $2. Thank you, YouTube, for the free $2 super chat.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Okay, is that true?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, someone said that someone gave a free $2 to me the other day, so I wonder if they're getting free $2 to certain people.
Oh wow.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you, too,
Yeah.
for the free $2 super chat. Beer mugs.
Beer mugs. Thank you very much, one swift guy. Or thank you. Should I thank YouTube? I'll thank YouTube as well. Thank you, YouTube as well.
Thank them both. Yeah.
Thank you,
'Cause
YouTube.
You used it on you. You could have used it on anyone else. You know.
Yeah. So dual leveling really, really strong, I have to say. So some things are harder, some things are weaker. You know, it's just different values. Like the mob values are different in terms of, you know, how much health they have. You know, how much damage they're doing. Some places have higher and lower mob density. There's more patrols like walking around that you never even remembered. And still, since back in vanilla, there was a lot of just random patrols. Like, you know, Duratar, they have these like, we didn't have those on the private servers, but those little corrupted Scytheclaw guys, they actually patrol around Duratar and clap you like if you're not paying attention. So there are more patrols, but the main thing I'm noticing is that mobs aren't using their abilities as much, because on private servers, you know how they would just disarm you on cooldown, or they would just use their whole kit, or like the voodoo trolls would just heal for a certain amount every time, and they're like really a pain in the butt to kill.
Why do premium
we were talking about
members
this last
get
night.
2
The
super chats
hyenas
every
in
month?
1K didn't have their fear ability. Certain other mobs didn't have but it's weird because certain mobs have abilities that I didn't see in private servers, and then mobs, like you said, aren't using their abilities as much. So it's like it kind of evens out, I feel like, in a little bit, because there are a lot of mobs that do have abilities that didn't have abilities in private servers.
Absolutely. So the mobs generally, as an overarching general thing, I think are actually easier. They feel easier. They only have a chance to use their abilities. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
But some stuff, like definitely, some places do definitely have lower mob density, I have to say. But stuff in like the starting area has lower health in general, which is cool though, because
Yes, it does. Way less health. Where it takes usually 5 smites, it would take like 3 this time.
took like
you know
3,
what
yeah.
Yeah. Got another dono,
Also,
by the way.
another dono. Oh, is it
Mr. Mamrick?
YouTube premium members get a few super chats every month. Oh, sweet. It's kind of like Twitch Prime, kind of. I didn't know
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
What does YouTube Premium do?
It's like gives you certain. You can watch certain shows. Like I remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
No ads too, right? No ads.
No ads too, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there's
Now, one thing, Kargoz. Here, read this next one too. You got another $2 one.
Another
Thanks for the
one?
reminder about the $2. There you go, Eric DeCosta. There you go.
Eric DeCosta. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for the support, man.
So
Yes, sir.
I wonder if you noticed this, Kargoz, because as a priest, this was huge to me. Like having those 1.12 wands makes such a friggin' difference.
Oh
as a
yeah,
priest.
thanks
Well, you
for
have
the
1.12
reminder
wands in
about
private
the
servers, too.
$2.
Well, not when I first leveled. I
yeah.
only
When
leveled on
Northdale
private
was
servers
fresh?
when it
Yeah.
was fresh. Yeah. So
yeah, it's true. It's true.
having the 1.12 wands is so powerful, right? And
Dude,
here's
you're
the thing, like
you're doing so much damage. It's ridiculous.
like I have necrotic wand right now, which does 33.2 DPS.
It's
you
dropped
know?
like 5 times for me. I still don't have it. I'm mad. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Oh my god, you know. So, but the thing is like, you know, I made, you know, like I told you, I grinded really hard. I took my time leveling because I wanted to, you know, test out bugs, grind stuff out. I grinded out my wand pretty early on, and I got my enchanting up. And so I noticed though, even at like level 7, 8, 9, I can smite spam stuff to death and still not have to drink for the next mob. Like my regen was so fast in the early levels. I literally have not drank like once while actually going out in the world killing stuff. Like I really don't even carry water on me unless I know I'm doing dungeons. I just feel like the wands being so strong, especially for a priest when you have improved wands, like there is no reason for me, and I think for any priest, to go spear tap first or to go spear tap one and spear tap one improved wand. If you're leveling a priest, go 5 first into improved wand into wand spec all the way. Like you do not need to drink at all until I still don't need to drink at all. But yeah, the wands being of the 1.12. I don't know if that's all it is, but I feel like I'm killing mobs very fast.
Can I say, if you're a wand user, the progression is insanely elegant, especially with our leveling guide. Like you can get your lessers. All you need is a bunch of cloth. You can get your lessers on the dot when you do your first little arc resolution, and you go to Orgrimmar, or you go wherever the first time. You can craft your lesser, no problem, solo, duo, whatever. And then this time round, we had ample resources. We were at 14. We could have got it at 13, but we had to go back to Orgrimmar to 14 to train. We were able to craft graders, no problem, especially in a duo. So we had
you guys
graders.
are the only streamers I watch.
You got
Thanks.
Someone donated and said, "Oh, Joshua Ward, thank you very much for the $2, man."
Thank you.
So we were able to get graders on the dot. We were able to craft them, right? And then that took us right to Gravestone Scepter, and BFD was a piece of cake, man. So you go lesser, greater, gravestone, and now we're 30, right? It felt super, super elegant, man. The wand progression. It felt super good. Also, some stuff is share. Some quests are now shared.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, some question.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't remember if the what's the names the don't stop poking me. The guys in I don't remember if you could share, but you can share them
You have,
now.
you have to
You
hit
can
them.
share that quest
You'd have to
now?
hit them. You
the
could share it before, but
yeah.
you'd have to hit them at the same time. Navik and I would go like,
At the same time.
Oh,
But if
so you're
if
not
someone
actually
hits it
sharing
from
it,
another
though.
one.
yeah.
No. It's like
Or are
someone would
you?
hit another. Yeah.
Now it's totally shared.
Someone
Someone uses it, you
totally
can be
share
pretty
it,
far
yes.
away, like 30 yards away, and you'll get credit for it. So some
Yeah.
stuff is more group friendly. Quests as a whole seem to be more group friendly than the private
Yeah.
servers, which is another.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of confused when I made my beta reaction video. I didn't watch any of the beta reactions until I made mine, and then I was like, oh, I might as well see what everybody else said. And I consistently found that like people were saying the leveling experience was harder, and I did not experience that at all. I think it's
easier. Yeah.
I think it's either easier or comparable to 1.12 private servers, and that I don't know if I don't have an opinion on that past that, but I'm just saying that I did not feel it was harder in one bit, like at all.
Yeah.
So just to recapitulate, the leveling is like the same, you say. And my second question would have been: are mobs harder or easier? But I guess you answered it. Some
It depends
are
on the
harder,
mob.
Some are
It,
easier.
Depends on the
kind of
mob.
evens out to an extent. Yeah. And one thing I did notice though is like respawn rates. Now I don't know if you guys have noticed, like, there are some respawns. Like we're doing what's the pirate guy you have to kill that spawns in different spots right outside of North Rochhold. I always forget his name.
Baron Longshore.
Baron Longshore. Like you would kill him and he would spawn immediately, but he would spawn in a new and his like the one thing is, so spawn points like Melderon mentioned in his video, the stem store the keg and the barons, like that would spawn in its different locations, not just in the one spot all the time. So spawn points I feel like are being utilized way more in the beta than they are in private servers, which is good. But I do feel like even though there's going to be layering, and maybe this is just something they're doing for the beta, but I do feel like mobs respawn quicker than they should be, at least from what I remember in actual vanilla.
Apparently, as a
I
little
do feel
interjection, so one of the devs chimed in recently and said that there were. Let me pause for dramatic effect. There were dynamic respawns in original vanilla.
right.
Someone
I
said
remember
that.
hearing that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, well, he's not even working for Blizzard anymore. I don't know why. It's been so long ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was crazy to me when I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
that too.
Absolutely.
Would you say that your damage, apart from the newer items and the ones and stuff, is your damage and your healing, is it around the same numbers as it is on private servers?
Well, Melderon's about to go off on this with the whole.
I think the damage, especially in the
Your
early,
damage, Dunedain, or mob damage?
No, your damage as a.
Oh, I think it's comparable. Absolutely, yeah.
I will say
Except for
this.
things like wands that are 1.12 static. That's huge.
I've noticed that smite and other abilities in the first few levels, the damage is slightly different. I did check that, and like maybe by like 5 or 6, like the actual numbers that on the tooltip I think are actually a little bit different as well for like the early ones, like small. I mean, it's very small like differences, but it kind of evens out as time goes on. And for healing, as healing goes, like we noticed there is a little bit of a lag when you heal someone. Like I think Melderon, did you mention this in your video? So like if you heal someone on private servers, it would kind of heal that person immediately, whereas on the beta, I guess because of the patching, there's a small instance where to that person.
So when you finish your healing spell, it's finished. The cast time is over. There's like a quarter of a second delay before the health shows up on the player you're healing.
That ties into the spell batching.
I don't know if
weirdness,
that's a
right?
batching thing.
Yeah, people are saying it's some batching.
Yeah,
thing,
but private servers were instant. So that's
also with blackout and stuff like that. On hit stuff, right? Defcamp stuff like that. They move a little bit before blackout hits them.
Yes. And then we talked about the wanding thing, like where it's not tied to the global, but it kind of feels like it is sometimes. And
have you noticed something Defcamp where you can kind of wand and then move like a yard or two and still have the wand toggled on?
And still,
you can kind of like
still have the wand toggled on. And then also there were times where like I was wanding someone and they would go behind me and I would move with my mouse, but for some reason I would stop wanding. Like for a split second, I would have to proc the wand button again to continue wanding, because I use wand a lot. It's my main ability. And I've noticed some wonkiness with it. And wanding has always been a little wonky on private servers, even back in vanilla. Like wanding was always a little weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer Mark's question. That's a really good question, Mark.
Mhm.
The way it's supposed to work is you're supposed to get a key ring when you get your first key. However, it's not working on the beta properly. When you get a key in the beta, it does not create a key ring.
Yeah, I have a key in my bag right now. It's not my key ring.
Workshop key.
Yeah. Yep, workshop key.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So another thing
Key rings
too is
were
it.
nothing in vanilla WoW at start. So they were in 1.12, I think, but they were not in the game before I don't know which patch.
So one advantage of wands before was that you could queue up a wand off the back end of like even an instant cast. You could like insta cast and immediately start queuing up the wand, because there's a little bit of like a crank up time with the wand. You kind of have to like cock it back before you let it rip. But you have to wait for the global to fully finish before you can start that process now. That's what we were talking about before. There's some other things though. Okay, one thing I will say, again, pause for dramatic effect. The tactics have changed when it comes to leveling, because some stuff is different. The roots you're leveling roots are not like super different, but some of the tactics you have to implement have changed. Like
I think one example you came across was the imp, right? The imp wasn't tanky enough.
Right.
Also, not even just the imp. The Voidwalker kind of has
Yeah.
he has unlimited mana. It feels like you can just put torment on autocast. You don't have to just weave 1-2 torments in anymore.
Really?
But he pretty much can go the
I always
distance.
left-
You can go the distance as far as like taunting, and even using his AoE taunt is fine. But his threat is kind of reduced. So I still use him though. Stay Safe, for example, was using this imp to tank. I still don't think that's that good. There's a lot of advantages to using the Voidwalker even still. 1, you can sacrifice it. 2, you have the AoE taunt. 3, it's still like pretty much you have to alter your rotation a lot, so the Voidwalker can keep threat, and you can like time out a Shadow Bolt or something like that to rip it at the perfect time. So there's the tactics change in the early game with Imp. The tactics change with Voidwalker in terms of like what your rotation is going to be. Also, melee leeway is another thing that's affecting warriors or people that are trying to hamstring or earthbind. I think they're going to fix that though.
Yeah. And what do you think about the hitboxes? Like I know on Tarn they have the 8-yard, which feels right, but Melderon was saying that the hitboxes feel even a little weird on.
So Ale is not I can't do it because I'm on a Torrent, but Ale was testing Earthbind cutting on his troll, and the same problems are happening. What's happening is when you apply Earthbind and the mob gets the deep debuff, you hit them and strafe. And when you come back through them for your second strafe, they're able to hit you twice. It's really weird, and it looks so strange because you're so far away from them, and they're able to hit you again.
Should we explain melee leeway? So, because what you're talking about is melee leeway. It's a mechanic added in MoP. Shout out to Zetox. He made a big thread on Reddit about it, and he came onto my stream 2-3 days ago. Maybe it was 2 days ago. He was talking about melee leeway, and he's gladiator player, someone who's really feels the nuances of the game. And this is in the same vein, much in the same vein of like how spell batching is something that's kind of this nuanced thing, but really adds to the feel of vanilla. Melee leeway is this other mechanic. I'll try and explain it best I can. So pretty much mobs who are like chasing you, trying to like physically melee you, or a player get a little bonus range if they're chasing you.
That's what
it's like 2 yards, 2.6 yards, I think is what he said. So it's more advantageous to like stop and stand still so they can't hit you, like if you're trying to make some sort of play, as opposed to just keep running away and keep kiting them around. So the TLDR is that if something's chasing you, they get 2.6 yards extra range, and it shouldn't be like that, and that it's lose-lose. I thought it might maybe.
Well, that needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
because that's not vanilla-like.
That's not vanilla-like. So it's affecting stuff like hamstring kiting. It's affecting stuff. Apparently, it's a side effect of having this like reverse engineered classic WoW, where they took the MoP or Legion, whatever client it was, and they like kind of reverse engineered it.
It was I think it was a WAD.
I think there still are a few things that need to be like that are reverse engineered that have left over like that. The totem thing, Melderon. Do we know? I know there's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of totem things. Which totem thing?
And guys, one real big thing I want to mention here is like they have fixed a bunch of things so far.
Yeah, they have.
For instance, like the fort, putting fort on someone and it wouldn't make their health go down. Like they fixed that. They fixed the AoE totem. They fixed buffing people in combat. Wouldn't put you in combat, now it is. So a bunch of things they did fix. but I feel like there are still a lot of things and I feel like a lot of the main things, like you guys are saying, these are things that are left over from the clients being put together.
So
right?
let's get back on the track.
Now the totem thing, Melderon, the grounding totem. Now, do you want to talk about what's going on with that?
Grounding totem. There's two totem things. Grounding totem on PTR on private servers can only soak one damaging spell and they're destroyed.
Right.
In Classic, and this is, I think, vanilla. I've been doing some research on this. Grounding totem has 5 hit points, and what it does is every damaging spell it converts to 1 damage. So you can essentially soak 5 damaging spells with the grounding totem now.
But only every 10 seconds, right?
Every 10 seconds. So you can get 5 if the instant you drop the totem, it gets hit. You can soak 4 more before it goes away. But that is a huge shift in meta and PvP meta from private servers, because grounding totem, you're like, oh, I'm just going to drop it to soak this spell, right?
Right.
Now, if you're doing a mage, let's say, now he's got to be like, okay, I got to make sure I get these frostbolts in between those 10-second windows or destroy the totem, because otherwise I'm going to lose more than just 1 damaging spell.
Right.
So it's going to make players really look for those grounding totems and hit them and knock them out soon, because especially in the big group melee, especially like all these people are fighting, right? And you drop that grounding totem, that thing's going to be taking some serious hits, dude. It really could really help your team out. So in a team battle, grounding totem's huge. The second thing with totems is any static buff totem, earth or stone skin. If you're in the totem's range, you have the buff, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to its max distance, which is 20 yards untalented, the totem will fall off, or 21 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
However, to regain the buff, you have to get 10 yards close. You have to get so much closer to it compared to when you lost it, which is really weird.
Interesting.
Why wouldn't the radius be static? I don't get that. And that's been happening. We lost the stream?
No.
I don't think so. It's fine.
Oh, I got an error.
Yeah, but
yeah, we lost it.
It might also be Discord. There's a huge thunderstorm going on. So
Kargoz?
Yo, I'm here. What up?
The hell?
Can you hear me?
I think it's just our internet.
No. I got an error too. That's weird. I think it's YouTube, man.
Yeah, I think it is YouTube. Honestly,
Twitch is totally fine. Y'all are good on Twitch, right?
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, Twitch is fine.
Yeah, Twitch is fine.
You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Still hear you.
there's a thunderstorm, and I'm hosting the Discord.
All right, I'm switching to Twitch then.
Yes, I guess switch to Twitch.
YouTube is back up.
Yeah, Twitch is fine.
Sorry, we could not log you in at this time. Yeah, YouTube is bugging out for me right now. At least we have Twitch.
It's back up. The stream is back up.
All right, so
Sorry about
anyway,
that, guys. Yeah.
I don't know who. I wish we can tell. Can you do a community thing on your YouTube and tell people to go over to Twitch?
Well, no, YouTube's back up now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Weird. I can't go to the dashboard. It's totally bugged out for me. Whatever. Sorry about that, guys. We'll hang in there. Go to Twitch. My Twitch is Kargoz Gaming /Kargoz Gaming if you want to check it out on Twitch. But sorry, what were we saying? Damn.
About the totems,
So basically, yeah, the totem static totem buffs are not functioning as we would think they were, and in my opinion, are definitely not vanilla. Why would you have 2 different radiuses for getting the buff and removing the buff? I don't understand that. So that's still an issue. That's been happening as well.
Also, there's some weird stuff with totems too. Like totems are able to be killed, and then you can get spirit tap as a priest if you wand them down. They're getting cleaved down. There's some weird behaviors, but I mean they're gonna fix that stuff, right? I don't even want to
I hope.
I mean,
spirit tap off totem. I mean, I put that bug in as soon as I saw that. And now, there's some good things that I've noticed, right? Some things that I really do like that are changes. First of all, I feel like Mind Soothe, right? Private servers was abused to such a huge extent, especially doing Dire Maul North tribute runs. You could literally Mind Soothe the ogre and walk 2 yards in front of him and wouldn't even pull. It's two levels of. Well, now if you Mind Soothe something and it resists, it's gonna pull. And if you Mind Soothe something and it's 2 levels above you, and you walk within 10 yards, it's gonna pull. This is way less, viable as it was on private servers, where you could Mind Soothe things and walk right by them, bypass huge packs of mobs. That's not going to happen in Classic, because it's going back to how it was. And the way it works internally is completely different, apparently, because it used to changed the aggro level. Now what it does is it changes the level to which mobs see you. So that's apparently how it works in classics, from what I've been told. Also, mind control. When you mind control something on private servers, your mana would regen while you're mind controlling. It doesn't do that anymore. It actually acts
that's
as
the
a
opposite
channeled
behavior. So
spell.
that's one thing we learned about channeled
Yeah.
spells. So again, I'm gonna
Yes.
pause for dramatic effect.
Uh-huh.
Okay, channeled spells on private servers. Some of them, not all of them. It's like it was almost on a spell by spell basis. Some, for example, Hellfire. When you start Hellfiring, you're not going to get any mana ticks while you're Hellfiring, right, or something like that. Or you're not going to be working your way to some channeled spells on private servers will only start working their way back towards your natural 5-second rule, natural spirit-based mana regeneration after the channel concludes. Now, this is something I was really eager to test. How it works on the classic beta is as soon as you use the channeled spell, so drain life, drain mana, whatever, mind flay, for example, for you Defcamp, you'll start working immediately back towards that 5-second rule, natural spirit-based mana regeneration, but you will not receive the tick until the channel concludes. But you'll be like ramping up towards it. So right after a drain life concludes, for example, it's a 5-second cast, you'll immediately receive a tick of spirit-based mana regeneration, which really makes drain life much more valuable in my mind. But that's another little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting because, like, I would, mind control a mob, and by the time it was dead, I would have full mana. But, like, if I was, like, mind controlling a mob now, if you mind control a mob and you're at, like, 10% health or 10% mana, by the time mind control's done, you're still at 10% mana, so you
10%
better...
mana, yeah. That's good, I think. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I do too. Because
I'm all for making the game harder. I'm all for making the game harder.
Exactly.
Like,
and I do think the way the way that weapon progression is working, I do think, because like you were talking about how weapon progression against mobs that are higher level. So like when you're essentially an elite mob or a boss is like what, 3 levels above you, 63, 64, right?
63, 3 levels above you. Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot harder now to kill mobs and the way that you hit them and how much damage it does. Mobs that are higher level than you, so I feel like that will make dungeons that have higher level mobs in there that much harder.
Yep.
I hope.
I went over this in the video. So basically, the two big things with weapon skill accrues way slower than on private servers.
Does it?
If you don't have intellect,
Yeah.
dude.
Slower.
It took me to go from 115 daggers to 140, which was my max. I wanted to get my daggers up, dude. It took me like, without intellect gear, over an hour.
Yeah,
Damn.
but if you have intel, it's a lot better.
Oh yeah, there's a huge effect by it, and the level difference between mobs to me is much more potent. Like when you're in Nomergon, I was in Nomergon doing like the level 33 mobs, and I'm level 30 obviously because the max is 30. If I hit them, dude, it would glance so often. Like glancing would happen so like it was, and the melee damage reduction was huge.
Also,
and that's why I think
apparently any mob 3 levels higher, 16% base parry.
14.
Oh, sorry, 14.
Right? Yeah.
So, but that's not just
14.
raid bosses. That's like
that's not just raid. That's everything 3
right?
levels higher than you. Do you know what private servers had 5.6%?
5.6. So people like Navik were speculating that maybe dual wield tanking and stuff may not be as viable.
Scarm argues that, but
is that what Scarm said too? Yeah, we'll see what happens. That's interesting though. Like,
well, no, Scarm's arguing the other way because he said, it's going to be more difficult. That you can't argue that it's going to be more difficult because you're going to be parried way more, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be more of a badge of honor now. I think dual wield tanks are going to be like, oh, I dual wield tank with a 14% parry. It's going to be more of a badge of honor. I'm not saying that like it's going to be less popular. Definitely though. I think so. It's definitely going to happen, which is good. I think it should be a very niche thing, right? It shouldn't be something that people do, because let's face it, warriors were designed to go sword and board. That's their whole to tank, right? That's the meta behind. That's the development perspective of the class, right? So
it's probably hard to say right now, but would you say, or do you think that raids will be harder or easier now you have the information about the parry and stuff?
It's going to be very. I think what I'm hoping, Dunedain, is these things combined, like hopefully the armor. I do think for 100% that private servers made dungeons and values and a little bit hard because they didn't have the original numbers, right? So I think that it's definitely, and I talked about this before, where like you bench press 40 pounds, right? You're used to doing 40 pounds, all of a sudden you do 20 pounds. It feels so much easier, right? So for a fact that we know that a lot of private server things were overtuned.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that when we go to like level 60, things will probably be tuned more correctly. So like the armor values maybe a little bit less and things like that. But a lot of these other things, like the weapon skills and all these other things, will kind of knead it together to where it feels almost the same. But we're gonna have to wait and see until if the beta does go to level 60, which it may not. We'll have to wait and see. But I really, really, really hope that I feel like there's a lot of things together, like with the mind suit, with the parry, with all these things together, it may make up for that armor values and things like that were overtuned on private servers. A lot of us have played on private servers for a long time. We're used to that, and you know what I mean. We're used to the difficulty, and if we go in there and MC's 10% easier, it's gonna feel a lot easier. But
so it's sometimes it's hard to say this is a bug or this is a private server thing, right?
Exactly.
So what do you think about the dungeons? Are they too easy, the private server thing, that they were harder, or how should you?
So like the end of Whirling Caverns, right? Like the escort, the Murloc boss, what's his name?
Mutinous the Devourer.
Way easier,
like,
right? Way easier. Sorry.
So much easier on class. Like first of all, you can drink in between. The waves are like smaller. It's way easier. But I do think it's working correctly. I do. I think it probably is working the way it should. But a lot of things like that feel so much easier.
Yeah, apparently someone was saying you can drink in between waves in private servers, but the problem is that the waves are significant. So the mobs hit harder. The mobs seem to, and the overlap window is a lot tighter. So you could theoretically drink between those, but it's almost impossible.
I never was because we never killed the mobs before the next wave came out. So
okay, but that boss is like a special one. So
if you want my whole over, I mean, dude, I'd say they're 30% easier than private servers.
And you think
I'd say 20%.
Correct. That's
I mean, how would we know? That's the thing, right? So like there's no way for us to know for sure. I
didn't state anything on that issue, right?
Apparently they did. Yeah, there was a blue post somewhere saying that it was correct. All the values are correct for elite mob damage. And everyone's saying, "Can you please recheck it? Can you please recheck it? Can you please recheck it?" Because
that brings another question, and that would be: did they nerf the instances before? Or before 1.12 or in 1.12, did they nerf it, or do you think it was always like that?
So that's a hard question to answer because 1.12 talents nerfed the dungeons already, right?
Yeah.
So there's that part of it. But that was already on private servers, so that doesn't matter. So we can make that comparison. So 1.12 was in both. So what I can say from that part of your question is the dungeons are way easier than private servers, even with the 1.12 talents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, whether Blizzard additionally reduced them as part of a pre-patch to Burning Crusade or something like that, I don't know. And I heavily doubt private servers. If that was incorporated in Blizzard, I heavily doubt it was incorporated by private servers. So it's a very hard question to answer, right? I don't think they did. I think if you look back at the patch notes, I don't think any dungeon was nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Even in TBC, they weren't nerfed because the only thing nerfed in TBC was the level requirements for each level, the experience requirements for each level.
Right.
As far as I know. So, but from its 1.12 comparison between private servers, I'd say they're somewhere between 25 to 35% easier. I'd say that the mob damage is just not there. Like, you don't even have to CC, dude. We had mages in our groups. They weren't even sheeping. There was no point.
And I'll tell you this.
Do you feel like they should buff it? Even though it's not.
I feel like it needs to be buffed a little bit. I mean,
that's a sticky situation. What if Blizzard is like that's classic? That was legitimately classic.
Exactly.
I don't want them above it.
But and another thing is too is like I wonder if because I feel like some of course yes I did SM Lib. We had Sea-Doo was tanking SM Lib as a shaman tank and like
Oh, by the way, yeah,
Even-
shaman tanking is fully
Yeah.
viable.
It's
in the
And
fully
that's the thing is, like-
viable, dude. I've never seen it so
Yeah,
viable.
so
in
good,
Melderon.
dude. It's
Half
so
the
good.
time, I feel like I have
Especially
a
with the
shaman
threat.
tank. Everybody on the damn server plays shaman. Like it's,
Yep.
dude, shaman.
Oh, so Shaman is so good at level
the secret's
30,
out,
that's why it's
Melderon.
so good at
Everybody's
level-
playing shaman.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
Yep.
I've seen so
Melderon
many
definitely-
shamans.
I didn't want to change the percentages, but I just want to let people know that shamans are pretty
It's
great.
because of you, Melderon,
So here's the
that
thing.
half the freaking server's playing shaman right now.
We did SM Lib, which is average enemy in there is level 35, right? The cap's level 30. Like it was challenging sometimes, but honestly, like SM Lib felt like how a 30 dungeon should feel, like to me. Like that's what it kind of felt like when we're doing mobs that are like level 35, 36. That's kind of how like I felt like oh my god, I was like this is kind of like what it should feel like.
I mean, didn't Asmongold clear Cathedral with level 30s?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I know. I mean, it was challenging for him. There was challenging.
Well,
Okay,
were they
fine,
doing the
but
fishing
it's
pole
still
thing though?
different.
Should we talk about the fishing pole thing? Anybody want to? I don't feel super comfortable talking about it. I don't know how it works that well, so I don't feel. Super
Well,
comfortable
what it's
talking
doing
about
is
it.
it's the fishing level is it's acting for what your fishing level is your weapons. It's acting the weapon skill
Oh,
of the fishing level is acting like so if your fishing is 300, it's acting like your weapon skill. is
So you can
300.
hit mobs that are way higher. You can even potentially tank a level 60s with a fishing pole.
I don't know about
if
that,
your
but yeah.
fishing skill's higher. Oh,
But how was that?
Yeah,
People
so
were
that's
saying that
essentially
is
you
supposed to
can
be
equip-
how it was in vanilla. I don't know.
I'm not sure about
so we're
that.
gonna
I
see
never
tanks with
fished in
fishing
vanilla.
poles.
No. Because at
Yeah.
level 60, it's well. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
know.
really
But
No, I'm
like in
talking about low-level
PvP,
dungeons.
it was hitting harder, right? Because like you can have your weapon level. If you're 50, that then you're essentially weapon skills level 250. So. I don't know. Like going back to the whole dungeon thing, like with like, so we had Vomp tanking, right? Who's a druid tank.
Druid
really
tags are killing it too in the beta.
so beefy.
Killing it.
Like,
They always
but
have.
even
though. I
warrior
mean,
tanks, like we had a level 17 warrior tank. Like, I feel like the damage that's happening to tanks. Like, sometimes like on private servers, like it would be chunky. Like I haven't seen any time where there was like I was afraid that the tank was gonna die. Like even if he's at like 15% health, I'm like, oh, he's not gonna get chunked. Like he's fine. Like the damage is just so incremental. I feel like
Even on a
that
druid,
is-
and
even
druids
on a
were
druid.
notorious on PTRs for being
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, they just took a whole bunch of damage."
I
And
mean,
that's
we had like 6
yeah.
mobs
well, not in
on
dungeons
Vomp
though. I feel like
in Nomeragon,
dungeons.
dude.
No,
in dungeons
druids
too.
always killed it.
I
in
always-
dungeons. I loved. I don't know. Okay.
The high
I guess
health
you
and
guys
all,
are healers, so you have a
but-
better perspective on how much damage people
Well,
take.
no,
so.
I think druids are actually somewhat better tanks during the level.
Me too.
experience.
I think so too.
that
It's-
I've
in
been-
in my
yeah.
dream team dungeon comp, I have a druid tank. I don't know.
Yeah, same here.
essentially. The only thing is they have
Yeah.
less mitigation possibilities, so they do have more spikier damaging coming to them.
But at no time
Just
where I was healing
mathematically.
like Vomp or even a warrior tank and like, oh my god, like he's felt
Yeah.
so predictable. The healing, it felt very like all I have to do is I mean, I would sit there in DPS for like the first 4. You could even sometimes do the whole pull and not have to heal him, then just heal him at the end of the pull, and then for the next pull.
I know
Like,
it's the same
that's-
thing.
You
Yeah.
know that ramp going down to the Mechatork guy at the very end on Nomeragon? I have so much
Yeah.
PTSD from all the wipes in my
Oh,
past,
I
but
know.
That place is
it was
AIDS.
easy though
Yeah.
here. I don't know.
It was
Yeah,
easy.
really,
Yeah,
like-
the only part
We-
of American that was hard for us was like the last, which wasn't even hard. The last,
Which brings
boss
up a
was
very good point, Kargoz.
Yeah.
If you guys have experienced this as well, the aggro radiuses of mobs is way lower
way lower.
than on
Yep.
PTRs. Way
Yep.
lower. I can run through mobs in the Barrens, like at the level of my. Like, so these mobs are at my level, right? They're not level that higher than when I was leveling the Barrens, and I was zooming through on Ghost Wolf and not picking up anybody.
And remember, guys, we're talking about what we've experienced on private servers.
Right.
Right.
This
So a
is
lot of
not
us-
saying we're not comparing.
Yeah, we're not saying it's wrong. We're just saying this
Yeah,
is what
we're
we've
just
been
saying-
used to for so long. Yeah.
We've been playing private servers for 4 years, guys. This is
Yeah.
the only comparison we have, really. We cannot, in the beginning of my video, like I spent 3 minutes to explain private server. Remember jack shit from vanilla. Nothing. I
And
remember
even if
getting
you
them
do,
out.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to remember. Oh, was that from private servers? I remember. Or was
That's a very
Yeah,
honest answer though, Miller. I'm the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I literally say on my stream, like my input on this beta is not even that great. Like my main value add to the community by being in this beta is making a bunch of guides. Because as far as remembering vanilla stuff,
Yeah.
how are you supposed to remember that?
How's
Especially when I
anybody
didn't
even
know
like
the game
even
at all
Ale,
back then.
He cleared the game. He cleared Nax Ale,
Yeah.
and he's like, dude, I don't remember a lot of this. I don't remember
Even
anything. You know
Navik
what I mean?
remembers only half, dude, and that's Navik.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
maybe something we forget a lot of the time is that most of the people now on on beta are veterans, and they played it so many years.
Yeah.
So new people join the world,
Yeah.
join us in dungeons. It might actually be not as faithful as it is right
It
now.
might. But on the PVE server, I have to maybe on the PvP server that's valid, Dunedain. But on the PVE server, I feel like a lot of people I've grouped with are clueless about where stuff is in the dungeon, where they go, and even then, I feel like we just blew through stuff. But again, that could be just that's just my one. That's a sample of one, right? I'm the only person saying
But
that. So
everyone at least played WoW before, right? Back in the day,
oh yeah, I
people were
think
like
people in
keyboard
the beta.
turtles and
Yeah.
clicking
Yeah.
spells and didn't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Like nobody was like, "How do I put stuff on my bar?" Like not that,
exactly.
like there was nothing like
So
that.
you
You're
don't
right. But the
want
people-
Blizzard to buff the dungeons? Yes or no?
Okay, let me answer that with two.
Only if it's not right.
Do I selfishly want it? Absolutely. Do I want it for the game, and do I think it should be done? No, because I don't want to. How can I say I'm no changes and advocate for changes at the same
That's what I'm
time?
saying, yeah.
Well,
But-
there's actually a reason to do it, and that's because they buffed talents and spells and items. So I guess they could buff dungeons a little bit you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know. I get you, Dunedain. I do. I just think that a lot of people are going to be like, it's going to be like it's going to open the door for something else and blah blah blah. And there's so many like slope arguments you can make,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, man. I just feel for me, I'm still going to play the game. I'm still going to have fun. I'm not going to play any other game.
Absolutely.
This is the
And
only
we're only
video
level
game
30,
I play.
guys.
Like,
We're only
that's
level
it.
30. Dungeons
Yeah.
could get harder. Like I do feel like some dungeons do get sometimes incrementally harder. Like I'm really excited for like what's Mardon gonna feel like? What's what's
Dire Maw,
BRD
dude.
gonna feel like? Like oh
Yeah.
man,
Are we gonna be able to?
wait
Dude, I am
do BRD.
so.
Oh my God.
So hopefully, all right. This is gonna segue into another thing, but we're soon gonna figure out some answers to a lot of questions. Like I want to see if you can even do Mara runs. I mean Princess runs. I want to see if you can even do some of these gold farming runs like in BRD and stuff. And do you think they're gonna level? They're gonna increase the level cap? What do you think?
I think they will, but I don't think they'll go all the way to 60 for some reason. We only have 2 months left.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, dude, the journey from 30 to 60 is, 1 to 30 is only 1/3 of the leveling time. So you got to give people. And how long's the beta been out so far? Half a month.
I got married May 19th. It was 1 week old, basically, when I got married, or like less than that. So, been like 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and we've only went to 30.
Yep.
And so think about it. So 3 weeks from 1 to 30, right? And if it's going to take 6 weeks to go from 60, we're at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do think
True.
that they should cut the beta off a little bit before launch.
I agree.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Right?
think that it should be like at least 2 weeks or so.
Build up the hype, dude, because
It'll
people will be at least
yeah.
watching it for weeks and weeks, but at least they'll be cut off for a little while, and they're gonna be like, "Damn, I want to watch that again, or I want to play that."
I hope they
you-
invite new people.
Yes, I hope they.
Yeah, I agree.
You see, the
I agree.
newest Blue Post said that they kind of had a good, but I do feel like there needs to be more people on the server. I mean,
It feels
I don't know.
very, very small, like
Yeah.
like 1K people or 2K people tops. It feels like.
So one thing I was
For the whole world
about,
too.
like,
For the
the
whole
other
world,
day-
not even just one.
Oh, yeah,
not even
exactly.
one like just
Yeah.
NA. Like there's Chinese people here. There's probably Russian people.
Yep.
Wow.
There's the whole world.
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely Chinese.
The
yeah,
whole
I saw
world
them.
on one
Yeah.
server with a 2K pop. That's pretty much what it is right now.
So think about this, guys. So like, imagine if we have, the issue where in the when Classic comes out, right? If there's a whole bunch of people that log on one, say Asmongold server, right? 10,000, 12,000, whatever people. I really was overestimating the amount of people that are going to leave. I feel like they're thinking, okay, we'll have these huge servers where there'll be like 4 or 5 layers or whatever, 3 or 4 layers of like, 3,000. So there'll be like 12,000. They're thinking that, those people are going to leave within, because they're talking about getting rid of layering within a couple weeks to a month, right? That's what it said on the Blue Post. That means that you would have some servers where there would be like 10,000 people, and then some servers where there's like 2,000 people. there would be such a huge difference on these servers and what they would feel like. And I really believe they're sorely overestimating the amount of people that are going to leave Classic. I really do. I feel like a lot of people are. I mean, look already. Look how many people are watching this on Twitch. 80,000 people were watching Soda Pop, and we're 100,000 people, watching Asmongold. Like, it's going to be, and then if they do leave for a little bit, like Taladriel said, some people might leave, realize that, oh wait, BFA really isn't that good. You know what I mean? I had a lot of fun playing with my friends over Vanilla. I'm going to come back to it. Like, I really feel like there is going to be a lot of people that play this game, or at least come back to it if they do leave. I don't think the right thing. So I'm kind of worried as like, what are the servers going to look like after that? There's going to be such a huge difference of these huge servers compared to these small servers, and I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I think they're just going to merge small population servers
into what? So what would be the status quo then? You know what I mean?
Well, I think 10,000. Well, the thing is, I mean, I want population caps, like static population caps.
Right.
I've always wanted that. I mean, that's
same here.
What's your ideal one? What, like 3K, 5K, 5K?
5. I think 5.
I like small. I like 3K. I think we talked about this before.
I like a little bit smaller.
I like 3K. So.
3K, yeah. See, they said something about 3K layers or something like that. I don't know. I will chime in though. So like, I'm having off the Richter scale levels fun in the beta. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is during the stress test in particular, I haven't seen the effects of layering in the beta so much. But I'm like a couple weeks behind you guys since I've been joining in recently. The stress test number 2. This is really useful to you guys out there right now, so just wake up for a second. The stress test, we were seeing some worst case scenario stuff with layering. Like, it was really, really immersion breaking. People were just like just looked like they were just phasing in and out of the different layers of the ethereal plane right in front of you because they're joining parties. People are hitting each other up like, yo, can I join your layer? Can I join your layer, man? Invite me to your layer, man. So all that was very much happening, and it was very much impactful on the gameplay. It was and like crocodiles were going in and out. Crocodiles were appearing, crocodiles were disappearing. It was such a strange experience. Another thing, and this is why I say it's useful.
I feel like they're testing the layering though, dude.
I think so
too. I don't think that's like. Yeah.
It feels like that they were messing with it. They were trying to see, feel it out. And I hope they come to the realization that maybe there's another way forward instead of layering, because it does feel very alien. What I will say though, and this is why I said it was useful originally, and this caught me with my pants down, because I was trying to go hard in the stress test with Navik and level up Duo Hunter as fast as possible. It was tough, man. Like, it was tough. The starting zone was very congested. Not as bad as like private server congested, but also the Kalimdor in general was very unstable. So like Eastern Kingdoms was fine, and Kalimdor was unstable. And I originally said like there would be no point to go to other starting zones. But if I knew what I should have known back then, I would have immediately gone to like to the undead area or something like that, or
I totally feel you with that. Yeah.
Or Mulgore or something. That's something that you may want to consider. And also have a contingency plan, because it's a very real thing. Like, you can have the most badass leveling plan in place, but once the shit hits the fan and there's a bunch of people, all it takes is like even 50 to 100 people in your little layer in the starting zone. All of your leveling plan is going to go to shit, and you're going to have a contingency plan. So what I would generally throw out there is a nugget for you guys to munch on, is that do the kill quests in the starting zone, then get out of dodge immediately. Die your way out. Get out. Do the kill quest, die your way out. It usually takes like level 4 or 5 to pick up the next set of quests in the next secondary area. Go there. If it's still crowded, immediately just drop the gavel, make the executive decision. We're leaving this area too. And go with the group, 5 men if you have to. You do get group experience confirmed. 3+ people, you get group experience. Do kill quests, get out, and then try and pick up your leveling guide at like a new breadcrumb area or something like that a little bit later. But have that ahead of time, because I got caught with my pants down, and I ultimately ended up giving up on the hunter thing during the stress test too.
Yeah. Well, another thing to keep in mind too is, like, I feel like this was a pretty noticeable thing. A lot of people, and I want to stress it again, it's just a beta that could have been testing things. But when you would start a raid group, right? So I would start a raid group, and then like immediately after starting a raid group and getting enough people in there, I would get layered off, right? And the next thing I knew, there was like 10 people in my layer. I'm like, oh well, maybe if I leave the raid group, I can get in a new layer. Or send me back. So that didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, let me get someone from a raid group that's in the layer that I was in to invite me, and then get back into that layer. What happened was they invited me and they came into my layer. So it's like trying to control what layer you're in and all that is very, very hard to do. And I feel like it's
No, that's
something that
interesting.
is probably
and
going to
not
transfer
not
over.
to be funny, like, and I
Yeah.
know this is, I'm probably not going to do this. I'm just kind of just spitballing ideas in my head right now. If you detest layering, this might be a really good reason to roll an RP if RP PvP server is introduced,
Right.
or PvE. I know that sounds shitty, but
Or,
like
yeah.
I don't want to experience that stuff, dude. You know,
Well,
I don't know.
if it is only for the first couple weeks or whatever, like I'm
hope
willing
so.
to, and that's what the blue post said. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to. I'm just worried about what's going to happen after the layering. Like what is going to be the implications of the layering ending, and then they're still putting a whole bunch of people on one server. What's going to happen then?
I just hope they don't have too many layers on a certain server. If they have
Yeah.
like 2 layers, that's fine, I guess.
It's like a
but
layer cake.
Don't need 5 layers on a server.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be ridiculous, right? Dunedain, 5 layers, and then imagine if like their estimates, like, okay, are showing like, yeah, out of those 5 layers, 3 of those layers are going to drop. Like, what if only one of them drops?
Yeah.
And now you're stuck with like that many people on one server.
What if
That's
nothing drops? What if
exactly.
people keep joining?
Yeah, what if people keep joining? I really think that, and you guys can call me crazy, you can call me nuts, but I really do feel like Blizzard is sorely overestimating the amount of people that are going to leave. Yes, they're going to be people that are going to leave.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
I'd be like, yes, there's going to be a good amount of people that leave, but I really feel like a lot of those people that do leave are going to, some of them are going to be like, wow, I actually had fun over there. It was challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me give it another try. And then, like, I feel like, dude, once you get hooked into Classic WoW, you're hooked, man. For a lot of people, it's like, there's so many amazing aspects about this game that BFA doesn't have,
Many people will probably stay. I feel like some of the more skeptical YouTubers, most of them stated already that they actually really like Classic. So
yeah,
if they do it, I guess the plebs will do the same.
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I feel like, I really do feel like that Blizzard is doing. And what do you guys feel about the hype? Like, do you guys feel like the hype is dying? I honestly am more hyped every day.
Soda Poppin has 79,000 people watching him.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like the
hype's not dying at all.
Yeah, it's not dying. If anything, Blizzard was really smart about this beta. Like I didn't want it. I wanted it to be closed. This, that, and the other, not streamable. But honestly, like I think they made the right call with this whole.
I'm looking at my Twitch thing right now, and I can see about 120,000 people collectively, just in the people that I know of that are watching the Classic beta right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I mean,
insane,
I know that
dude.
probably seems small for games like Fortnite and stuff, but like, dude, that's huge.
That is huge. Yeah, huge.
yo, I'm back. Sorry.
But you know what? I really feel like, for the most part, guys, very positive about where we're going. I really do. There are some things that I'm worried about, like the layering and this, that, and other. But the work that the development team has done so far, I'm very impressed with. Because I feel like not until you go in there and play WoW, the beta or the stress test, do you realize just how many intricacies there are to this game, how many little things there are.
There's more intricacies than
that,
BFA, dude.
Dude, there's just so much work that they've done, like, or that needs to be done, or whatever, this, that, and the other. And I feel like with the small team that they've had and what they've done so far, it's kind of amazing. I've kind of gotten a whole new respect for at least the people working on Classic.
Just about the layering stuff, they didn't actually state it was a few weeks, right? They stated it was phase 1.
No, there was a blue post that I read, and I can try to find it real quick, but it said on there, if you don't like layering, don't worry, it'll only be here for a few weeks to a month max or something like that. And I'll try to find
which
that.
Could be the entirety of phase 1. He's right.
Yeah, it could be the entire phase 1. Yeah. That's a small phase 1 if you ask me.
Maybe it's a good thing to go for a medium pop server if you don't want to
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
For time. Yeah.
Here it is, right here. I'll link it in. If you want to show it, Kargoz in the stream, I'll link it into our call. And
What is it? Sorry.
You can show it. So this is the post or the interview that is all about layering, and you should read the last paragraph when it says, "How will layering be used?" Right.
The last paragraph. I can't bring it up on stream right now because I didn't set up, but I'll read it right now. How long will layering be used?
Just read it, yeah.
If you dislike layering, worry not. Layering will only be used for a couple weeks or maybe a month at the start of Classic WoW in order to balance the huge influx of players in the same zone. Once the situation reaches a controlled state, it will be completely disabled and realms will once more have one instance of themselves. Layering will also not happen after phase 1, so that's all bolded. Okay, I'll leave it there. So what happened here, because some of you guys may be like on the fence, like, so what's the real story? I'm hearing mixed things. This little blue post came out after the first layering post.
Yep.
You remember that, right? Because remember, I was mad. I was super triggered on my stream.
Oh yeah.
If you guys remember, I was being a little crybaby. I was super triggered when I heard of the layering.
You're just concerned about the game you love, man. That's understandable.
Yeah, and then like an hour or two later, I stopped streaming. I was watching Defcamp stream, and then this blue post came out. Because it seemed like when I was streaming, people were telling me, were coming in my chat saying there's going to be layering. I never even heard of that before, and they're saying it was going to be all the way through phase 1, and I was tripping.
Yeah.
But this was the order of operations. So you got that original layering post saying phase 1, then this came out and they like rectified it, kind of saying that it's going to be used for a couple weeks or maybe a month. But what I'll throw out there too, just to play devil's advocate, because you got to hold Blizzard accountable, man, because this is a different Blizzard. This feels like a different Blizzard. This is a Blizzard that's responding to people tweeting at him and like spawning Ragnaros and Molten and Cthulhu in the starting zones. This is a different Blizzard. And you know, they said before in that same bold text, they put it in all bold. They said there will be no sharding past the with sharding. What did they say? There's no sharding past the starting zone.
Starting zones. Yeah.
That's the starting zones, right? And they made it seem like just Elwyn and Northshire, just Durotar, and maybe you know, Valley Trials or whatever. They said it in the same bold text, like they had that dramatic effect.
Right, that's
kind
why
of like
a lot of people were upset. Yeah. Who said that? Was that Ion who said that? I think it was Ion.
It was Ion who said
right?
that. I remember when they said that, and
But he's not really like on. Like he's. I mean, he's part of the development of Classic, but he's not. He's not like. Is he like not like really on a team though, right? I mean, he's not like working on Classic every day. Like he's.
I don't know, man.
World of Warcraft. You know. What
I'm
I mean?
sure he cares about Classic. If you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying that I wonder if like he. I don't know. And I'm sure, like, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to like defend Blizzard here, but I'm thinking that like, if anything, I would trust this post more than that because it's more recent. It's more, you know, I don't know. Here's the whole thing, right? If it does go past a month, I will be really upset. If it does go past phase 1, that would be monumentally bad.
This is something that could happen. Okay, so like you said, Defcamp, servers launch, way more people than they expected. Servers are swamped. And yes, there's going to be a fall off, but that fall off is still going to leave the servers in a position that would, quote unquote, require layering. And months go by, or 1 month, 2 months goes by, phase 1 is ending. What does Blizzard do at that point? Free server trends? I think there's a decent chance they go, you know, we'll just keep it going a little bit longer, man. We'll just keep it going. Just phase 2. It's all good, you know.
I think you need to create new server shards, actual servers, not by shards. I'm sorry. You need to create new virtual servers, and you have to migrate people off. You can't keep layering going. You can't.
That's all I'm saying.
Otherwise, it's not Classic WoW. It's not.
They have to force people off by making huge queues.
Yep.
I guess.
The biggest reason we want this game back, the reason why NOS did what they did, is because of the community aspect of the game, right?
Yeah.
More than anything else. And if you're going to ruin the community aspect of the game over the longevity of the game, it's not Classic anymore. It's not.
But there also is something else to munch on. But if you go back to it's one of my more successful videos, and it was probably the video that, like, you know, if I were to never play Classic WoW again, it would be the video I'd want to define my, you know, experience in Classic. Was the one that, God, I'm mostly in Defcamp. You're right next to me in the auction house. It was the one that was the top 5 reasons to play Classic WoW, right? The number 1 reason I listed was fixed communities. Right?
Yep.
So this ties into that. Yep. And if we're not getting fixed communities and people are just evaporating in front of your eyes into different levels of the ethereal plane, that kind of detracts from the immersion. There's a big immersion killing aspect to that too as well. So it's something to consider, man. And there's one other point I was going to make with fixed communities too. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the other side of the coin, though, which I don't envy Blizzard because they have to make these hard decisions. But the other thing is, if you have a bunch of servers and you have to eventually merge them together, it's really no one's going to argue that merging 2 servers together is going to have some sort of destructive impact. So that's also going to mess with fixed communities. So there's no like super clean answer here, unless I'm missing something here. You can either do this sharded, layered, whatever environment and just like consolidate it down till it's at the appropriate size, or you can merge servers together. Either way, you are gonna kind of have to mess with the fixed communities a little bit. But I would personally want the merging. I would personally want the merging as something I'm more comfortable with.
Overlayering.
And with the merging, you don't have any of that evaporating into the ethereal plane. That's not even a thing that happens. You know what I mean?
Well, honestly, I think layering is good if they only go to a maximum of like 2 layers. If they go over that, it can get messy. But if they keep it like on the low side, I think it's good.
Yeah. Because merging is a one-time. Well, layering could constantly occur, whereas merging is, hey, you have a 5,000, you have a couple hundred new friends that you're now can play with, right? I'd rather have that set thing happen over like 1 week. I see some dude I've never seen before, and then he just like zones out, and then you know what I mean. I'd rather have a static change than
same. Because that doesn't, I mean, that's something that you prepare yourself for. Like, yeah, your server could get crushed. You could get merged with another one. Yeah, that does suck. It's going to be disruptive to the economy, to the players, to the community, everything. But you don't have this weird immersion breaking people evaporating in front of you through the layers of the onion. You don't have people messaging you saying, invite me to your layer. I don't know. All that stuff gets dodged, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if there are only 2 layers and they do it like they said they will, like you only switch layers when you invite people to a group.
No, you switch layers each time you go to a different continent.
Yeah, continent, okay. Continent is fine, right? As long as it's...
Well, how many times do you travel back and forth over the sea? I do a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. That's my issue, is that, like, yeah, if you walked into the game and were set in that layer forever until layering ended, I think that's better than getting moved around. And the only time you could leave your layer is when you're grouped up and you go back to your original layer. So the people you've met, you can stay friends with for a while, right? I think moving from continent to continent and changing layers is more immersion breaking.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Didn't really think about that moving continents thing. I thought like you move continents, I don't know, once a day maybe, but probably it's more.
Oh, once a day is significant, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
The thing is, if it's only 2 layers, it's still 50% chance you're on the same one. But
True.
I mean, it's not the same community. If you mix them up, that's right. Would it be too hard to make it like worldwide layers?
Well, that's. Oh yeah, I mean that would fix it.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing as having a static layer. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so, yeah,
I still have a question about the beta. So if we could go back to that.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So something I wondered for a while, and I couldn't test it in the stress test yet, is the early level drops, like weapons and armor and stuff like that. Is that how you remember it from private servers, or is there anything significantly different?
I can chime in there. So chests don't drop greens on private servers. They pretty much always drop 1 green. They don't drop greens every time. It's like actually 25% of chests or something drop a green. Also, it doesn't seem like some of those early mobs have reduced linen drop rates. Like the Kulturas guys, I don't know. They're still dropping like 2 linen a pop. If they drop them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an illusion. Maybe that was never a thing. Like for those of you in the stream wondering, like. It was something I was talking about while making these leveling guides for a while, because we were trying to get our lesser wands or greater magic wands at a certain time. So we're, some of these early humanoids, like in Elwyn or in Durotar, are supposed to drop like less linen, and it didn't appear. Maybe we were super lucky or something, but they were dropping like 2 pretty consistently, and that seemed like too much. We were getting a lot of linen. Yeah.
So I felt like so in bag drops are abysmal.
Okay.
They're really low, dude.
Oh, it does feel that way. Yeah, it really does feel that way.
Bag drops are really low. Also, I think in low level zones, gray drop rates, like grays, like not maybe could be upgrades, because low level those grays can be really good. The drop rates for grays are very high until you get to maybe 20-ish, and then I feel like they drop a lot more consistently than you would see on private servers. But before that, greens are very rare. So are bags. But grays, for some reason, are like really abundant, like
really
hugely
abundant. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot though in in
Are
dungeons and stuff.
I
yeah.
left the start. Like I left the town. I'm rolling a Tauren Shaman. I left the town. Got my first quest to kill those like 7 plane striders or whatever. I like
Yeah.
left, and when I came back, every slot was full with gray item.
Wow.
Yes, and you know what I do
killed
notice
like
though?
10 NP. Yeah. Huh?
Like a lot of the like okay, so like one big farming thing we used to do a lot, Melderon and I kill hyenas on 1K, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because they dropped soft patches of fur, and like 5 fur sold for like 30 something silver. Well, the fur drops way less now,
It does.
so
It does.
it's like not that good of a farm spot anymore. So like
Mhm.
that kind of stuff drops less, but like gray items and greens, and like I've already gotten 2 BOE blues. I don't know, I've
Yeah.
gotten like 4 BOE blues.
Unfortunately, I know a
world.
lot of people put a lot of work into this, especially Frostadamus. I think a lot
Yeah.
of those farming area videos are going to be obsolete.
Really?
I
Well,
do.
I think
I
they're
do.
not going to be as lucrative as they were private servers, honestly.
Well,
I think
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about obsolete, but
those white and gray drops, are they like the same? Are there like some two-handed weapons or one-handed weapons that are not dropping or that are dropping and didn't drop on private servers?
Sorry, what's your repeat
Yeah,
that
so,
question?
on the lower level zones,
Mhm.
those white and gray items, the
Yeah.
weapons, for example, are those all the same as those dropping on private servers, or is there like a new kind of low level meta on
Oh.
those white and gray weapons?
I think they're the same as far as stats are concerned, or as far as drop rates. Like,
As
what do you
drop
mean?
rates, I mean,
Oh, I think the drop rates are higher for gray and white items too. Yeah.
yeah. But also, are all those weapons like the same? I mean, like if you play a paladin, you probably have
Oh.
this shovel.
The shovel. Yeah.
oh yeah, the shovel, yeah.
So
That's a good question. I don't know how I can. I don't know if I can answer that. Because I specifically would like to look for that shovel. Did you, the Defcamp? Did the shovels
Yeah.
drop in the Tears Fall?
Not that I've noticed. No,
Okay, because
I
Tears
didn't
Fall
get
also
any.
drop shovels.
I
Okay.
didn't see any shovels. I don't think, honestly. I'm trying to think.
Wait,
No.
what? You talking about shovels? What are shovels? What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, it's like a typical paladin weapon you have.
Yep.
Warrior weapon even in Elbin
Yeah.
Forest. On private servers at least.
Yes,
So-
on private servers. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but
Also, one more big thing we totally forgot:
what?
healing threat.
Oh yeah,
Healing threat seems
does not feel
way
as
low.
strong, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
It seems
It's
way
low.
what? Way lower?
lower.
lower
Way
for some
lower.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's the way it's.
But is that
working, right?
because
Like,
we're healing less?
That's
That's
probably why, honestly,
that's-
Melderon. Yeah.
That's I think what it is. I think
Yeah.
healing, like mathematically, it's still probably half half of whatever you're healing is converted to
Yeah.
threat. That should be totally correct. But I think the fact that you're like healing once or twice during a dungeon pull instead of like 80 times, 10
Yes,
times,
Yeah.
I think that's why healing.
I mean, threat
is
is still
off.
an issue for like a lot of tanks and all, but I feel like, dude, I really feel like shamans are doing really well with their threat and
Shamans,
you know,
yeah, it's so true, man.
yeah,
I mean, I really can't
it's-
stress
it's-
this enough, guys. Like shaman tanks, like no one's flinching at shaman tank.
Oh my God,
on the beta, no one's
not at all.
flinching.
Dude, CD was tanked every dungeon with shot.
SM Lib. He tanked SM Lib, which is level 35, 36, and remember the cap's level 30. You know, and he did an amazing job at it. Like,
Yeah, we did an
crazy.
RFK
So-
with 4 shamans, and like, I know it was 3. I think it was 3 shamans actually. 3 shamans and
Oh,
then Navik
God.
and I. But yeah, I was like, who do I put soulstone on? Everybody was like, fuck off. We all have soulstone. Like, and like they were just owning everything,
Put it
dude,
on
with
yourself,
corpse
dude.
maker.
Like, yeah.
Like, I was like,
Yep. Oh
you
my
guys,
God, yeah.
I was like, who should I seduce? They're like, fuck your seduce, and they were just destroying
Dude.
everything. Like,
Yeah, they're also really strong in WSG, dude. Like enhancement shamans are like raping people. It's like
That's
it's really
insane,
bad.
dude.
Yeah, it's level 30 shamans are very strong. So are paladins though, Dunedain.
Okay, so
Sorry,
paladin
pal.
tanks, are they okay? Like
I haven't
most
seen
tanks?
paladin
Oh, I don't know.
tanks,
Dude. I haven't.
I assume they're
Alliance.
fine though, man. When I leveled one recently on Voldemort, they were doing, dude. I mean, dude, tanking SM with consecration and some of the town, it was just, they were super fine. I think the paladin myth of like being all the time, it's very manageable, dude. Like if you just know how to play, man, like it's not that bad. You can do multiple pulls without going
By the way, I noticed the colors in the raid frames for shamans are pink. Why is that?
Oh, that's how they were. So in the very beginning,
Yeah.
they of the of the beta, they were blue. But from what I remember back in the day, they were pink, just like all the rest. Yeah, yeah.
But I noticed strokes were blue. Is that right?
No, rogues are yellow.
Something was blue in your video. What was blue then?
In my video?
Yeah.
Was it a warlock? Was it a purple?
Well, shamans were blue, like I said in the beginning of the beta.
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been from an early
it's a warlock
footage.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's a warlock. So shamans were pink. Okay, that's I never knew.
According to Blizz actually confirmed it, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But trust me.
Yeah, I'm gonna start leveling mining.
I don't
level,
want to
guys. Mining is the shit. I actually really like mining, especially I don't know, because if you know you're gonna go engineering.
Oh yeah,
dude, I've been re-leveling mining. It's kind of a pain in the butt re-leveling it and stuff. Like it feels like I should have done it while leveling.
It's so hard to do engineering without mining, dude.
That's something else I wanted to ask. The mining nodes and the herb nodes, are they dropping same amounts, or are there like more nodes, or is it the same as private?
It feels
servers?
like there's less nodes to me, but it could be totally just RNG. There's a lot of people trying to get them. I mean, yeah.
PvP server would be a bad place to test that. I think you need to test on the PvE server. I'll try to next character I make, I'll make a miner and see if it's and I'll do
When I level for real, I'm gonna go enchanting mining or something. Like basically, it's gonna be a combination of one dude can go enchanting tailoring, the other dude can go mining engineering or mining something else or whatever. I'm definitely gonna get mining as I level. Mining is solid, man. I don't know. I'm liking mining a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense, Code Blue.
Dude,
Shaman and
it's
Paladins
so...
had the same class colors until 2.0 pre-patch. That makes sense because then you have both factions can be Paladins and Shamans. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember on like Luna and all the other ones, they were always pink. But I'm trying to remember back in the day what they were. I'm not sure, but
I never raided the horde, so I only know today.
We should throw out little nuggets though of information from the beta, stuff that's just like you that we just found out. That's awesome. Like one thing I'll start with, and it'll give you guys some time to maybe think about some stuff, is bags. So when you get a new bag, how annoying is it that you have to go in there and take everything out of the old bag and delete it all, or do some crazy stuff so you can re-equip the new bag? That's fixed, man, or fixed, or whatever you want to call it.
Auction house and mail too, dude. Like being able to mail like multiple things, and it still only costs 30 copper too for like one mail, as long as you send a whole bunch of shit.
It's 30 for each item you put in.
30 for each item. Oh, that's right. I thought you said it wasn't.
No, it is. I say in the video it is 30 each item. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's what I meant. But the other thing too was the auction house. Like it remembers what you put up there and the price and all. You can just keep putting it up there. Yeah, and a lot of quality of life like things, you know what I mean? Like the raid frames. Every time I was streaming, like get like 20 people like, oh, what add-on are you using for the raid frames? Like, oh, these are actually the default in-game raid frames.
Dude, another big one. Yo, big one. Everybody wake up. Everybody take a
wake up.
Pausing for dramatic effect here. I'm making a statement here. Like this is interesting.
Take a shot of
this
cocaine.
is interesting right now. This is a very interesting thing. It seems like they structured it in a way so that it's almost impossible to wipe the group with your pet.
Really?
What?
What do you mean?
Your pet's not like wonky. Like if you jump, so okay, classic thing, right? You're jumping off a ledge and you don't dismiss your pet, and your pet walks all the way around and pulls 500 mobs and the group wipes. Okay, we're all familiar with this thing, right?
Sure.
This is part of the classic experience. Your pet just appears to teleport anytime you jump down. Anytime you take some dramatic like little amount of movement. Your pet just appears to teleport next to you. It doesn't walk around. It doesn't do crazy stuff.
Really?
Or if you walk too far away from it, it will despawn and give you the soul shard. So
it'll give you a soul shard?
Yeah, like if you walk too far away from your pet, or if for some reason it's not able to like teleport down to you or something, it'll just despawn. It'll say you've received a soul shard in your bag.
Just in case you don't have any soul shards.
It seems like they've structured. It seems like they've structured it in a way, and this could be like vanilla. I don't know. I don't think so though, because I remember pets being like I remember embarrassing myself a lot. Like
they did it in BC. They did it in BC. The pets pulled everything. Yeah, I mean that to me is I think that should be put back to work, because you should be, as a hunter or warlock, you should be mindful of where your pet is at all times.
Yeah, it's very RP.
I agree, and it looks really weird too. Yeah. So like you'll jump down and I've actually tested it. That I've told the group, like, you know what, we're gonna just take a L here if the pet pulls everything. Like we're gonna see what happens. I wanted to see what happened, and the pet will just freaking like just teleport. Like it'll just move really fast down some huge amount of distance back down to you, or despawn, and it looks really weird when the pet does it because
Wind Fury. I gotta talk about Wind Fury.
Wind Fury.
All right, Wind Fury wasn't working for a while, but it was fixed. But here's the problem that still persists. If you're fighting a mob that isn't close to death,
right,
and Wind Fury procs, the damage will go to the combat log right away. So the damage is being, taken into consideration by the computer, whatever. That's all fine. The mob's health bar will go down, but what's happening is your character will swing sequentially 3 times, and it will show the damage come up 3 times sequentially, even though you already attacked him with Wind Fury. So as far as the computer's concerned, everything's fine. It's working properly. You can still one-hit people, all that stuff. But like, as far as an aesthetics, it looks horrible because like you're used to these Unbreakable, seeing these huge 3 numbers pop up at one time, right? But it's not. It's coming up sequentially, and it feels so bad. It's weird. It needs to be fixed because it's like obviously it's not vanilla because look at Unbreakable.
I wonder if that's the bashing issue. I wonder if that's because of the bashing issue.
No, it only does it when a mob's not close to death. If your mob's close to death, though, it shows it all. Yeah. It's some weird wonky thing, and it's from a shaman perspective, someone who loves Wind Fury, it doesn't feel good to see. It really doesn't.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, but at least the damage is being incorporated into the system properly, so that's been fixed. But
so there's another quite big thing I noticed, and we talked a little bit about it for the show, but when I went from level 1 to 5 on my paladin, I noticed that every level the tooltip of my spells actually changed. So spells scale with level. What do you think about that?
Well, so this is an interesting thing that's been popping up. So what's happening is for a lot of spells in the game, not all of them, every time you level, you'll notice on the tooltip that either the damage range or the effect is increasing in small amounts up until you get the next rank. Once you get the next rank, it'll stop scaling because now you rank. So what's happening is every level, it's almost like BFA, where your abilities level with you. Now, I originally thought this was an issue and a bug, but what's really weird is if you go on private servers and you put Rockbiter rank 1 on your weapon, then you're level 1, and then you level to level 2 and reapply Rockbiter, still rank 1 Rockbiter, the bonus, the green number in attack power bonus increases. So what I think's happening is this was always happening, but was never overtly displayed until now. Because private servers are even doing it, which means to me, like, how the hell did they get that information? Unless, like, if it wasn't overtly shown by Blizzard, how would a private server developer know that?
Yeah.
It's just blown. This whole thing is blowing my mind. Like, so I don't know why it's happening, but on like Lightning Bolt, it's only 1 damage. It's increasing each level. Like, it's not. These aren't huge numbers here. For most of them, weapon imbues are pretty large though. So I don't know, man. It's very weird. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong.
Yeah,
but from the weapon imbue standpoint, like from my tested weapon imbues in Shaman, it would make sense now why things are not different, because things are scaling to match the weapon imbues. But whatever. Yeah.
I noticed the same thing on the paladins, the seals, and the numbers. They gained more than 1. It went from like 2 to 4 damage to 2 to 8 damage, or 2 to 6 and 2 to 8. So that's quite a big improvement.
That's a big amount. Yeah.
Yeah. So I submitted it as a bug, but it's probably not. It's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Pogren's been checking on private servers, and he's showing that Rockbiter is increasing. So,
but it just doesn't. So, and the thing is, too, you got to remember, it's the added. But so, like, a lot of times, like, mistake I made was, you can't look at the white number, look at the green numbers. It's, you as you get levels, of course, you get 1 strength. That's 2 attack power. That's not added, but it's the added bonus.
It's the green number next to the white number.
The green number, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The bonus attack power without any gear is increasing.
Gear, that's
Yeah.
which I never knew. I thought it was static.
Neither would I. I never knew that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that still boggles my mind. How would they know that? How would the private server developers know that it happened internally if tooltips weren't showing that on vanilla?
It's
Unless they
strange.
were, and we just all forget. I don't know.
I don't think so, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just a little, small little question. How are the gold drops? Do you feel like it's the same amount of gold from each drop you gain?
I wish I
Uh,
typically
gold
paid more
drops.
attention to that.
Yeah, I think
but
it's,
I don't see a difference.
It didn't see anything unusual about it. Didn't see anything unusual about it. I mean, let me think. Throughout the leveling experience, let me think if there's anything that was particularly interesting. No, everything was kind of straightforward, man. Thinking about it.
Right.
Mob's leash, the leash is shorter than in private servers.
Oh,
That's for
well,
sure.
shorter. There's some mobs though that follow like. We had one mob that followed us from like northern Stranglethorn down to Booty Bay.
Were you hitting it
And,
over and over again every couple seconds?
Well, no, some of them, yeah, some of them that you hit, they'll follow. But then other mobs, like there was like for the main part, like they're okay. But then once in a while, I don't know, like when they were like higher level, like these trolls and shit, they followed us for probably a good like 2-3 minutes, dude. I don't know if sometimes they bug out or what. If you're in a raid group, it's just really weird, really weird. But for the most part, they were working right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about macros. I was really excited to see how
macros.
macros are working. It's really juicy. This is quality of life stuff. I mean, /start attack works. A lot of the modern macro commands works.
Over.
Yeah, mouse over, cast sequence. You can like bind your pet abilities right on its little bar, so you can just have, you don't have to put your pet macros on another bar. Like it just shows up right, nice and clean on there. Also, your pet abilities, you can just do cast, sacrifice, cast, seduction.
You don't do pet actions 17 or whatever.
You don't have to any of all those wonky scripts that were such a freaking nightmare. Thing of the past, baby. Like it's really nice. It's super nice, super nice.
What do you guys think about cast sequence macros?
You see the one I made, right? It literally makes I did a cast sequence macro Kargoz that does mind blast, shadow word, pain, bubble, wand, everything. Like so, I basically hit one button for my whole rotation.
Damn.
And this is the other thing with like mouse over as well. It's like it does make things a lot easier, and it makes things. This is one of those things that we talked about Kargoz, where it's like if everyone has it, then it's okay. But if I feel like it to an extent feels like it's playing the game for you a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like it's nice to have these things, but at the same time, it does take away.
I don't use them.
It does take away a little bit from the feeling of you're controlling this character and you're. You know what I mean, like RP of it, and I don't know. It's very much a double-edged sword for me.
To me, it's like driving manual versus automatic. I hate automatic vehicles.
Yes.
And I have only owned one automatic vehicle my entire
life.
No
way. You drive manual?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Every car I've ever had has been manual, dude.
In Europe, everyone drives manual.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to drive manual. Sorry.
I hate automatic transmissions, dude, because of that very reason. You don't feel like you're attached to the car. You don't feel like you're you feel like the car and you are kind of like attached in some way, right? You're actually controlling the speed of the transmission with your hand, whereas and it feels like that with mouse over and
maybe that's a parallel with BFA and Classic in general too. I've never had in my life a manual car, so I don't know what I'm missing. I feel like this is all I know. Fine.
Dude, give it a shot. I mean, but the only thing is, if you don't like cars, like if you're not a car guy, if you're not a gearhead, I don't think
I like cars.
to you.
I just like.
Yeah.
I just never had a manual car, but maybe I'm honestly open to the idea that manual is really good. I don't know. I never tried it before. Never tried it.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Why would
in Europe everyone does it, but yeah. So if the Europeans are probably like, what is he talking about? Everyone drives manual in Europe, but
selling petrol by the liter over there.
Dude, like,
it's more expensive to buy a non-manual, right?
Yeah.
And it how do you say it? It breaks easier, right?
So automatic transmissions have way more moving parts. So automatic transmissions are much more easy to break than manual transmissions. Also,
you want to transition when you feel like it's the right moment.
Yeah.
So I feel
also manuals have manuals don't have to be automatic transmissions need to be clean and flush every X amount of miles, because the automatic transmission fluid is a lot thinner than manual transmission fluid, so it actually breaks down much sooner. Manual transmission fluid you can leave in the whole life of the car and never have to drain it unless you do some crazy shit like racing or you're towing a lot, But manual transmission fluid doesn't break down. I don't know why we're talking about cars, but yeah. So there's a lot more maintenance. There's a lot less maintenance on a manual transmission.
Yeah.
You fix my car, Melderon. I don't know how to do it.
What do you need?
No, I'm just joking. My car's fine, but I'm actually embarrassed at times of how little I know about cars. It's actually like really not cool. You should learn about a little bit about cars. It's important.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's true.
Yeah, Melderon channeling his inner James May.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's funny.
That show though, Car Talk. I'm sure you like it, dude. NPR, legendary show.
Yeah, I do like
Love
Car Talk.
Love
Yeah.
Car Talk.
You guys
are they from Philly too? I think they're from Philly or something.
I think he's from New York, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He might be.
Are there still American car brands? Because General Motors is
None's worth buying. No, I'm just joking. I'm gonna get a lot of people mad. No, I don't. I buy Japanese exclusively. That's all I buy.
I see.
Yeah, but
Lexus for the win.
that's just me. Yeah, Lexus are good cars. So anyway, I think the beta, honestly, Dunedain, for someone coming from the outside, I think that you're not going to be surprised much. I think that you're going to like it. I think that there are some weird, wonky things that have been changed and altered, but
Yeah.
I think in the long run, we still have a lot. We still have about 70 some odd days for Blizzard to fix some things. The only thing that really bothers me is the dungeon difficulty, and that might get better if we get to go up to 60. Maybe things will get more a little more challenging, and that'd be great. And if it's just for the first couple dungeons that are easy, then great, wonderful. I mean, that'll help the new community kind of get used to the mechanics of vanilla and how things work. So.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
I do feel like for the most part, I'm very hopeful. As long as these, layering things and things that I'm concerned about, get hashed out and it's done correctly, I'm very hopeful with everything. I think Classic WoW will be a great success.
I think
very
so
nice.
too. It does feel
very nice.
And I'm really, really excited as well. We've talked about if we think they're going to raise the level cap. Let's talk about, do you want them to raise the level cap to 40, 45, 50, 60? Do you want to go all the way to 60 and start testing raids in the beta?
Yeah, I want to go to 60.
I want to test. I want to test the raids
in the beta.
I think it needs to be done. I think the raids definitely need to be tested at some point.
I have other stuff that I need to be tested. So yeah, I need to go to 60 to get a lot of that done.
Yeah, that's
talents and stuff.
How are some talents working? Let's talk about that too. Anger management, that's working the way it works on private servers. So
you still get the one rage every 3 seconds. Yep.
Clear casting, that's working. It's once per cast, not per mob hit. So that's another just little check the box type thing.
Yeah.
Everyone figured it was going to work that way, but it's working.
The enhancement tree is really not that weird, so I have to respec an elemental that has some things in there. Elemental is the tree in Shaman that has all the questions associated with it.
Right.
So I have to get into there, but so far enhancement is working as you would expect. I mean, like, increase your shield block, increase your lightning bolt damage, increase your crit chance, and flurry. Everything is working perfectly fine. Flurry feels great. So
Flurry feels great,
but Flurry, Wind Fury do together. I mean, getting to level 30, you get Wind Fury weapons, so I'm able to see those big Wind Fury hits in PvP. If one shot, some clothies already. And it's just as good as it was in private service. So
I mean, the most important thing that I think I've noticed was that, of course, the wanding animations are correct. So thank goodness, wanding animations look good. I've tested most of them. I've seen other classes and races as well. And the wanding animations, thank you Blizzard, look beautiful. So that was my main concern for everything, and that's very well, very good.
Although, dude, moment of silence for no moonwalking though.
Moonwalking,
confirmed.
yeah, moment of silence.
No moonwalking.
I've seen some people that are able to like kind of do it, but it's not the same.
What about the strafing bug? Is it still in there?
What the one like when people just start like strafing like crazy.
Oh, with auto
I
shot.
saw that the other
When
day,
I-
yeah.
when I made a hunter, and the early levels, you kind of run back after every auto shot and you strafe back.
Yeah.
And you look really
Yeah.
weird,
That-
right? Your feet start
Yeah.
moving like 100 miles a minute, and you looks very bizarre. Yeah,
Your
they got to
feet
change
is-
that. That looks
Yeah.
so
strange.
weird.
Yeah.
Looks so weird. Yup. Did they ever fix the smite animation, Defcamp? Does it still look really flashy and stuff?
Yeah, it's still really flashy. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the animations for Shaman look pretty much the same. Everything's just brighter.
Yeah.
Doom Will just subscribe to tier 1 subscription. Thank you,
thanks for
Doom
letting me
Will.
know. Doomed Will. Hell yeah. Also, respect cost. Thank you very much, man. Respect cost, 1 gold.
Oh.
1 gold, not 10 silver. On here, at least.
Oh, was it 10 silver in private servers?
No, I mean, yeah, I think
No,
it was, yeah, but...
No, it was 1 gold on last, I think, but it was 10 silver the first time in vanilla.
Okay. Okay.
So that's good. It
Very
should go
good.
from 10 silver to 1 gold. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think it should be 10 silver, 1 gold, 5 gold, 10 gold. And
I
so
agree.
on.
I think that
Yeah.
the first would be 10 silver because you know how many people like put the wrong point in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it used to be like that, so that's good.
Yeah. I think it'll help a lot of new players if it's 10 silver the first time. But whatever. There we go.
No big deal.
I
Alright,
hope
geez.
I can level past 10 before the game launches.
Oh, I thought the last stress chance was up to 10.
Yeah,
Last stress.
I
Oh.
don't want to go past 10.
Oh, past 10. Got it.
And also, I didn't even reach 10 because I was busy doing other things. But yeah, where
Other
did Kargoz
things.
go?
Eh?
So, Kargoz left. So I think we've covered most of it. I think
Yeah.
what we need to do now is kind of keep going and update the community next time. Are you guys planning on doing Thursday with another person this week?
I would like
This
to.
this Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
down.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Super down.
So,
Kargoz, you're back. Okay, so you guys are planning on doing the Thursday this week as well?
I mean, we're gonna freaking
Or-
miss the heck out of you, dude, but yeah, I mean, I'm down, yeah.
No, I mean, hey, dude, I think it's good to have guests sometimes. It's really good to have guests sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, you should probably try to get someone else who's been in the beta from a different perspective.
Should we call it something
Um,
different? What do you guys think, chat? Should we see? It's not Good Morning
Should we
Azeroth
call it,
without
like-
Melderon, dude. It's like Good
That's
Morning.
true. I know.
It's like it's like decent
You know,
morning
you
Azeroth.
get in your
I
next
It's
think
like-
we should keep it.
Serviceable
keep it
morning Azeroth. Serviceable morning Azeroth. That's what we're calling it.
As long
You know
as
you
we
should
have
get in your next-
Melderon every
Oh.
other episode.
Yeah, I'll be every other one, Kargoz.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
But you guys should get for next week is Ale. You should get Ale in on Thursday.
Yeah, it will be great. Yep. He's been playing the beta.
Yeah,
He's been
that's
streaming.
right,
He's
yeah.
been growing. Navic and
Yeah.
Ale been streaming.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable and he's been doing a lot of testing and stuff. So I would
Oh
definitely
yeah.
get him in.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't play
You
many
guys
private
see-
servers too, so he's an uncorrupted. Like he has just a somewhat pure sense of.
He's,
you know-
no, he played on. He said he played on Nost.
Oh, did he?
He played a little bit. Yeah.
I
Did
guess
you guys
Navic
see a
didn't.
lot of EU people on the beta?
EU people?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's no one from my guild in the beta. That's probably because the beta is so small.
It is so small, dude.
We have
Yeah.
like 80 people now, so I would hope someone gets beta exit.
Yeah,
I think I've seen some Europeans on there. I've seen some Chinese. I haven't seen a lot of South Americans though. At least not people saying they're from South America.
seen a
Yeah.
lot of retail players though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of retail players.
Well, we gotta wrap up, but
Okay,
it was nice talking to everybody, and
It's
it was
always
good
fun,
being
guys.
on.
Yeah. It's good to
yes.
be back.
I'm gonna continue streaming, so I'm probably just gonna like move the scene over. To,
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
To just regular mode. But yeah, this is
There
it
you
for
go.
Good Morning Azeroth. So we'll clip it to this point, guys. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in for Good Morning Azeroth. I'm gonna keep the pain train going here with some Warlock gaming.
Hey,
Nice.
Give me a minute, Car. I think I might get something to eat a little bit, and then so don't wait to do a BG. I'm gonna.
Oh, you want to do a
Start
BG
up,
or a dungeon?
Well, or a dungeon. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'll probably be back in like a half hour. So.
All right, no doubt.
All
No
right.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, I will see you
Peace out.
Thursday, right?
Yeah, you guys should set up one
Yes.
for Thursday with
Yep,
Al if you
yeah,
guys
I'll set it
can.
up.
And
I just want
I
to
will.
do.
Yeah.
I just want to do a little shout out to my guild. So if you're still looking for an alliance guild, we are still looking for a few members, especially in the DPS classes. Not mages, but we need some rogues, warlocks,
Nice.
hunters. So
Where-
if you're interested, any class is welcome. But I will link the Discord.
Where can people find you,
if I
Dunedain?
can. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I will link it as well, and on Discord. I'm not sure if I can add the Discord link here. I will try. Seems to work. Okay. So
YouTube's still down.
Yeah, yeah,
Jeez, dude.
yeah. They're fixing something on
Google's
YouTube.
losing money.
Apparently.
Damn, man.
Yeah. Yep. So.
All right. Well,
All right,
guys,
I'll be
I'll
streaming
see
as well
you-
later and this week, and you can see us on YouTube and Twitch and all. And
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
YouTube.
Also, I won't see you guys until next Sunday. So
Dude, that's so sad,
alright.
bro.
Yeah.
Will you
kind
make
of
an alt
at
on the
this point.
PvP server or something, man? I'm still dying.
yeah, I, already
All
have,
of it,
I have a
he
mage.
has-
I have a mage, but as soon as I finish the shaman testing I need to do, I want to start roll. I'm gonna start playing the mage. So
Oh yes, okay, awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I it's still so cool that I'm playing with that. I see Defcamp in game now though. Like we did we? Oh, dude, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. Okay, all right. See you guys. Take care.
All right.
I'm gonna switch to
Peace
scene
peace
now.
out, guys.
See you guys.
bye.
See ya.
All right, peace.